A button is easy to find, and though fabric may wear out, buttons don't. They can be unique. Like on a coat, you can open something up and you can close it when you're ready, and it's just like your story really. And I just sort of, if people are able to send in their button as symbolic of the baby that they lost to abortion and maybe share some of their story, then it's just a way of acknowledgement to help towards healing.
I love my baby that I gave back to the stars.
To honour the life of a niece or nephew.
May she who never lived enjoy her time being remembered.
Well, I first met Peter when I was about 19. I just had this niggly feeling that I could be pregnant, you know. When I missed my period, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure I might be. So I remember telling Pete of the possibility that I could be pregnant. He thought that he would do the right thing and maybe propose before I got the results.
The weekend before, I had literally just broken up with my boyfriend, and I kind of was like, I've been late, and I've been late for a couple of weeks. What's the go? So I went to the GP, and yeah, the GP was like, you're pregnant. I remember like just bursting into tears. I always saw myself as someone that was going to be successful and someone that was going to be married before she had kids. You know, I was still at uni, so obviously this threw a spanner in the works.
I have a rare form of dwarfism and had my heart valve replaced when I was 6. I was with a guy, ended up falling pregnant to him twice. I had a stroke from my birth control pills, so I had to stop taking them immediately. I was feeling not good about my relationship, and when I tried to talk to my partner, the conversation it turned violent. And he pushed me down the stairs. It's while we're at the hospital that I found out I was pregnant for the 3rd time.
When I did go for the pregnancy test, it was confirmed. I just had so many mixed emotions. I remember telling Pete, and he brought me flowers, and we laughed, and I just couldn't imagine myself as a mother. And I guess then the next day, the reality started to sink in. Am I ready for this? And Pete went and told his parents, and their response was, oh no, you're too young, this baby will forever be a hindrance, get rid of it. And so what went from flowers and laughing, suddenly it's not going to work, and my parents feel that it's not the right time to have a baby. Next thing, I found myself seeing their family doctor, and the doctor didn't even suggest any other options. He just looked at me and said, well, we better book you in the clinic.
I kind of just sat for a while before the appointment, and in my head I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep it. Like, I'm not going to get an abortion. The situation that I'm in is not ideal, but I kept telling myself that I would make it work. I said that to the GP, and she got like excited for me. You know, she started writing dates down. She said I'd be due around like January 3rd. My mum kind of was like to me, I'm not going to support you ruining your life. And then my ex at the time, one minute he would be abusing me about how I'm ruining his life, and then the next he'd be trying to win me back if I get rid of it, just that kind of stuff. I remember just waking up one morning being like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be alone. I called up my mum and I called up my boyfriend and I said, fine, I'll do it. I'll get rid of it.
The doctor told me that getting pregnant was the stupidest thing I ever could have done because my blood thinners made it unsafe for me to carry a child. and that really abortion was my only option. I didn't tell my parents about any of this. My second pregnancy, I went and found a better abortion doctor who actually understood that my health came first. But by the time I had my third abortion, I was dealing with a lot of depression.
I remember telling my work, got a really bad tummy bug. I just felt I couldn't tell anyone. They made you see like a counsellor. And I said, I don't want Pete to leave me and another child being raised without a father. I never knew my father. My mum never knew her father. It just seemed like a broken record, really. At that moment, I just felt that I was on a conveyor belt and I couldn't get out. And it just felt so cold in that room, and the doctor was just so matter of fact, and I knew at that moment I'd become another narcissist. And when they gave me the injection to numb, for some reason it didn't actually work properly. I was awake through the whole procedure. I felt the tugging and the pulling. Part of me died that day.
They made you change into like a gown. I remember like waiting there, like just shaking uncontrollably, and I wasn't sure if it was because I was cold without my socks or because I was like, oh my God, like what's about to happen? And then I had someone come in and say, okay, you need to take this tablet now. And apparently the pill's supposed to like prepare your body for the surgery. I remember just being in the most excruciating pain. Imagine your worst period cramps and multiply it by 1,000. I had never been under anaesthetic before, so it was all new to me. The doctor being like, okay, this will just pinch a bit. And I remember like, okay, this stings. Okay, this is really stinging. Oh my God, this is like burning. Like my hand felt like it was on fire. When I finally came to, the doctor's like, oh wow, you must be allergic to anaesthetic. Because he's like, yeah, you broke out into hives. Another reminder from my body to be like punishing me for what I did.
The first procedure was horrible. I was just completely numb from all the drugs. The second time was better because I found the better doctor who was more supportive. But the night before my third appointment, I woke up in the middle of the night to intense pain and cramping, and I found out I was miscarrying. And still had to go through the whole procedure, even after dealing with all that pain.
We did get married. We've got 3 other children. They're like 3 peas in the pod. When it did come the time when we thought of having a child, I'd suppressed a lot. And so instead of being a happy pregnancy, that's when I started to grieve the baby that I chose to terminate. Low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, mood swings. I thought I need to talk to someone, and I saw a counsellor, and I'd written a letter and asked him for forgiveness. It was just my way of processing.
I just could not comprehend what was going on emotionally, and I started to push my friends away. I started to push my parents away. No one knew what was going on, and I kind of just spiraled into depression. I started to do my own little things to try and, I guess you could say, grieve. I got a tattoo for remembrance. I got like a pet fish, a rose that I wanted to look after and nurture. Just stuff that I would like symbolise. And I always said, if I was ever blessed enough to have a second chance at a child, I'd want to name them Phoenix, because I like the idea of rising from the ashes.
I couldn't ever bring myself to go through the process again. Ended up getting the IUD birth control, ended that abusive relationship, put him in jail, and now I've just been with the most amazing guy, my fiancé, for 8 years. I look back at the times I had my abortions. I think I should have been more careful with my health, but I learned a lot about myself, and if I never learned those things, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
I named our baby Hope. I hope for the future that I can be a good mum and to help others in this journey.
I just hope that I can make a life that my little phoenix can be proud of.
I was convinced I never wanted kids or could even have them, but now I'd love to somehow experience motherhood.
A person starts to heal the moment that they feel heard.